Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Reacts where today we have ourselves a track from an act named Jase titled My Name Is Jase. And if we switch over to here, we've got this on YouTube. This is their first track that they're releasing, the YouTube exclusive, and we're going to listen through it from start till finish and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go, let's do it. An intense start to proceedings.
My name is Jase, pleasure to introduce to ya. I'm from a town where they'll take the boots off ya. If you're not about it, best to move from here. No room for fear, cause you'll lose out there. Surrounded by rude dudes that just to spew out air. They move like squares, just to do what you dare, but don't act foolishly. Them same folks you thought you knew could soon turn out to be your worst enemy. Stay woke, don't sleep. The wolves stay hunting the sheep. Say what you mean and mean what you speak. Show some respect when you step into me. Be mindful of who you let into your home. Cause if you're letting in some foe, it could be your last step in your throne, or the last time you see what you own. I'm from a town where they'll take the boots off ya.
Great development.
Not about it, best to move from here. They can be ruthless here, but truth laid bare. You will never see a town like this one. Never see a town like this one. My name is Jase, pleasure to introduce to ya. I'm from a town where...
It was an interesting chord progression through that. We kind of summarized a lot of what we'd said before in that hook section. I understand where we're going with this, I think. Also, just while I remember, apparently this track is off of the Beyond the Surface album that has been released on the 22nd of April.
Take the boots off ya. If you're not about it, tell me what you're about now. Always felt like a bit of an outcast. Grew up watching South Park. Life is moving so fast, yeah. And I'm no expert, all my bridges I burn. I just take what I learn. Hope you get what you earn. Hope it don't get much worse. Hope it all works out for you. I'm from a town where they'll take the boots off ya. If you're not about it, best to move from here. They can be ruthless here, but truth laid bare. You will never see a town like this one. Never see a town like this one. I'm still that funny kid you went to school with. I just went through some shit, but I never lose it. Always was the nuisance, sick of the excuses. Running with the blueprints, always was the new kid. They always said I'm different, they told me I go missing. They said that I should listen, but never tried to listen. They told me that I'm gifted, they told me I'm persistent. So what's the mission? We don't need nobody else. We can do this on our own.
A great transfer to clean vocals.
You better if you show me better, yeah. So put your phones away, you don't need that anyways. And if you give me the time of day, I can show you better. I know you don't really care about my life like that, but I'm trying to get it right like that. No, you don't care about my life like that, but I'm trying to get it right like that. No, you don't care about my life like that, but I'm trying to get it right like that. I'm from a town where they'll take the boots off ya. If you're not about it, best to move from here. They can be ruthless here, but truth laid bare. You will never see a town like this one. Never see a town like this one. I'm from a town where they'll take the boots off ya. If you're not about it, best to move from here. They can be ruthless here, but truth laid bare. You will never see a town like this one. Never see a town like this one. You will never see a town like this one.
You'll never see a town like this one. Okay, so that's interesting. And again, that's off of the upcoming album Beyond the Surface. So welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Jase titled My Name Is Jase off of the Beyond the Surface album. Now, what do I think this track is about? I think it's talking about Jase and their experience in the town they grew up in, knowing that they need to sort of take care of themselves, that they can't always trust people around them, you know, the wolves keep hunting, etc. But it also, I think, helps to shape maybe who they are, how they grew up, and also to kind of pair it with the expectations people had of them as, you know, being gifted and stuff. All the kind of expectations they had, their development as a person, who they were growing up, etc., and how it's kind of progressed into who they are as a musician now. It's a way of introducing ourselves, whilst also, I suppose, showing kind of cadence to where we grew up in. And I think that that's effective. It's nice to hear both of those angles. You kind of go from one to the other fairly quickly in this track between the transfers, and I don't have an issue with that personally. I feel like it's an interesting kind of introduction to talk about the environment first, and then to talk about ourselves there. But I feel that's good though. It's almost like we're showing a sense of wisdom there, and then to continue to progress that, it's like, oh, but this is what part of what shaped me. So the context is additional, and it's meaningful. I think what I appreciate here is that there are a lot of different ideas vocally that are put forward here. The rap flow is strong. I like the way that we split those lines and adjust the phrasings, and we have a great sort of bounciness and sense of we seem comfortable within the facet we're trying to sort of maintain within this track. I think if this is a first impression, then this kind of indicates that the rest of the album is going to be good. We aren't necessarily playing neatly into the box of we have 16 bars of the verse and then 8 of the chorus. We do kind of have some parts which are shorter bar length wise than others, literally with the amount of beats per bar, like there might be 6 bars as opposed to 8 or whatever. And it's unpredictable because of that. But I feel like you navigate around the storytelling in a way where it never feels overdone. And I just think having the clean vocal melodies a bit later on and just that bit of variety. I mean, we had a catchiness to the hook line stuff, don't get me wrong. It's just we're making determined, like deliberate decisions to keep things intriguing throughout the 3 minutes 19. Which I think that the actual length of the track is quite positive as well. We get a lot of context about both Jase, who they are and where they grew up, etc. And it almost seems like it's more trying to sort of combine, again, the sort of being aware of what's required in order to find their place and survive out in the world with what they grew up with. And it feels like a meaningful sort of like double experience there where we kind of got 2 stories in one, and it filled it out neatly. We had development thematically through the piece. We had an interesting sort of like kind of clappy, kind of like occasional sort of snare or kind of click kind of kit at the start with some extended, very soft extended keys at the start, which were almost like pad-like there, where we really wanted to have a kind of an airy atmospheric feel. But then the bass came in, the kicks came in later on, and we kind of, it grew over time and built into a really solid foundation for the vocals to sit on whatever they were doing, you know. And I think that what is effective is that we have a consistency with the implementation of the theme there, whilst also never allowing things to become too much. Like there's not an overdoing of the hi-hats or cymbal patterns there. The kicks and snares allow space for the groove of the rhythms to have their own sort of percussive flow. The keys maintain a back sort of like subsistence there, where they are color on the sides of the stereo field and add a nice bit of kind of energy there, but they're never too overwhelming. And we typically have the vocals for the lead vocal point throughout the entire piece. There is an incredible presence to that bass a bit later on, though. That's really full sounding, and it makes the most of the real estate provided within the frequency spectrum from a lack of too many instrumental elements within that piece. And I just think in terms of adding a bit of extra oomph to the piece, it is effective in that regard. I think that just makes sense instrumentally in terms of the actual composition, to not allow things to be too empty, to have things kind of coming at that halfway point where maybe a change in the angle of the story shows this is a new chapter. And we typically have, if we have extensions that are major oriented, the track never stays too sort of like down and drew. Like, how do I describe it? There might be some minor leanings, but like typically has sort of a major feel to it, I think, because of the expression of the vocals, the way we communicate there. Even if things are kind of heavy at the start, it's interesting. Like if you listen to some of the decisions with the chords, with the vocals and how they combine with the bass lines and stuff like that, it sounds really pretty with the way they connect. So maybe even we're trying to soften that instrumental backing to kind of, it's almost like it's a multifaceted kind of bittersweet experience there, or there's more than meets the eye that's been communicated with the various elements combined. But I think structurally it makes sense there. I like the use of the different instruments, not overwhelming things too much. And the vocals overall well done with both storytelling, the actual flow and performance on the mic. The production is tight too. I usually list a few things I appreciate about a track. I try, like in terms of things I feel that could be improved, I think that I would want to sort of like see how this form of structure of the track where it was like a little bit unpredictable for a lot of it would communicate or continue throughout the rest of the album. I'm not saying it was done incorrectly at all. It's just, it's just different to have that lack of roundness of a more predictable 8-bar, 16-bar pattern or something like that within the verse and chorus stanzas. So if this is something we continue through the rest of the album, I feel like it'll help the music stand out. If we're doing a bit of both, that's fine too. It's just interesting that it goes like, oh, we're twisting in that direction now in terms of like, but that's cool. Ultimately, really positive first impression to their stuff. I wish them all the best of luck for the album release, because thank you for watching my review of this track from an ex named Jase. Jase, should I say, titled My Name Is Jase, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show them some love over the various social medias and YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next SP Reacts. Spiderhands out.